Hello everyone, welcome to another guitar lesson, and in today's we're going to be doing Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix. So, Jimi Hendrix is probably the most famous, most well-respected guitar player of all time. Most guitarists starting out will need to learn, has to learn Hey Joe. Even though I didn't. I don't think I did back in the day. But Hey Joe is really useful because you're using a lot of different guitar techniques in terms of playing lead lines, as well as doing those kind of those core chords. Okay, so before we start, let's make sure our guitar's in tune. So from E to E. Alright, so let's start Hey Joe by going through the intro. So if we start with our first two notes, which is E, our high E string, and 5 on the B string. So we've got these two strings which are strummed or plucked together at the same time. Like that. That's 5 and 0, B and E. And they're both E notes. Then our second note is going to be the D and the E, which means you're going to slide your finger down to the 3rd fret on the B string. And then you have the E note and the D note ringing out at the same time. So those first two again. That's 5 to 3. Great. So there's the first two notes. Then we have... Now what that is you're moving to the G string, 2nd fret. Again, use whatever finger you find most comfortable. I tend to use my index finger for this. You pluck the 2nd fret on the G string. Now what I'm doing there is called a pull-off. All I'm doing is I'm plucking the G string once on that 2nd fret. And then kind of pulling my finger away from that G string to leave it open. And when I'm doing that pulling motion there, I'm letting the G string ring out. So I get a 2-0, but I pluck once on the 2 with my right hand. And then I pull away to get that open G string ringing out. So that's called a pull-off technique. And then I end that lick by going onto the 2nd fret of the D string. So that part has a 2-0-2, and the 2 to 0 is a pull-off. So again, I'll just go from the beginning. Okay, then what we have is an open E string. So just plucking the open E, and we're just holding that note for 2 beats. And then we're going to get our fingers, which are now free, and go up to the 5th fret of the A and the D string. Okay, and we're going to do 2 plucks on this, the E, 5 and 5. Then we're going to slide these 2 fingers down, so our middle finger and our ring finger, down to the 4th fret on the A and the D string, and we're just gonna pluck that or strum that once on the 4th fret, and then down to the 2nd fret, and then we're gonna strum this chord, this kind of E power chord, twice. So I'll play that part again. So from the open E, 5, 5, 4, 2. So far we have these 3 parts which go like this. And then the last part we have a hammer-on technique. Now a hammer-on technique is when you do this. Now what I'm doing is I'm plucking the open A string, then using my middle finger as a hammer. That's why it's called a hammer-on, because what you're doing is you're using your fingertip to play the note. Usually you just have your finger pressed down and then you'd pluck it with your right hand, but here we're kind of hitting the note with our left finger, so we're doing this. That's 0, 2. The 0, the first note, is plucked with our right hand, and the second note, the second fret, is played with our middle finger, basically, by hammering onto that string. That's 0, 2 on the A string. And then after we do this hammer-on, we then go to the open D string, just by plucking it like that, just as normal. So, this lick is repeated twice. So that's 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0, 0, 2, 0. And then we finish the lick just with one pluck on the second fret of the A string. So I'll just play through that part again really slowly for you. And that's how we finish the intro. Great, so there's a lot of things to go through there. But I'll just go through the whole intro from the beginning to the end. Okay, after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, into the next section. This next section is the majority of the song because it's based around 5 chords, which carries on until the very end, and in the middle there's a kind of a solo which Jimi Hendrix does. But I'll just go through the chord sequence now. Let's start with a C major chord. This is bar 1. Bar 2, we have G major, so the standard G major chord. Then bar 3, we have D major. Bar 4, we have A major. Okay, so just going through those chord shapes again, from bar 1 to 4, C, G, D, and A. All major chords. And then from bars 5 to 8, we have this. So that's all based around the E major chord. And what I'm doing in between those strums is a kind of a little lick from 2 to 0. And that's 2 on the A string and 0 the D string, open D string. So we have three strums at the beginning on the E major chord. And then just after that third strum we have, so that's 2, 0, 2, 0. From the A to D, like that. Just playing that lick twice. And then after we do the lick, back to 4 strums on the E major. Okay, so I'll just play through the 8 bars of the chord sequence again. Great, so that's how we construct the chords to Hey Joe for the majority of the song.